Welcome to frugal.photo, and I've got something here that I want to share with you, and I will do that in just a moment. So when it comes to photography, there are a couple of things that make photographs valuable. One of them is sentimental value, and the other one is rarity. And so what I've got here, I've got some of our most valuable photos. These are the only known prints that we have anyway of my father-in-law.
I actually suggested that we do this video because I was thinking about what are my best photos. I'm not as good a photographer as my husband Aaron, but I love to do it, and it's his fault that he's taught me how to do that and to appreciate the world and art. The reason I was thinking about my favorite photos, the photos that I've taken myself, the ones that my husband has taken, and I realized that one of my very favorite photos is not one that I took, is not one that my husband took. It's one that was taken before I was even born. Okay, now I get to explain and go backwards. I have a bunch of photos that my husband has laid out here for me of my father, including this one when I was 9, when I was 9, and it is in pretty bad shape. It's my father, we're at a picnic, it's a profile shot, but somewhere along the line it got wet, and I know it's my dad because I know what my dad looks like, but strangers who saw a mug shot or something wouldn't know it was him. I have very, very, very few shots, I think just 2, of my dad all by himself that were taken. Partly because we weren't rich, and of course this is before film was replaced more or less by digital imaging. And so it was expensive. Cameras would have been a very expensive luxury. These photos that I have of my father by himself, and not as part of a formal group or a dance photo with my mother, because my mother worked at, with schools. I have this one. It looks like he's bleeding from his forehead, but that's just because there's food on the picture. When my dad was very old, he couldn't even see. You can see that he's kind of focused on the camera, but not great. In this one, because he was blind. Almost no pictures of my dad. One of my very favorite photos of me and my father together is actually this one, because I am just that cute still today. No, it's obvious the love that he has for me, and I was 8 months old in this picture. But before I was born, I don't have pictures of my dad growing up. And part of the reason is, once again, he was not from a prosperous family. They probably didn't even own a camera, or if they did, it would have been later in his life. But that would have been typical of most families. And film was expensive. You had to pay the photographer. You had to pay to get it developed. So there probably weren't a lot of photos of him before I was born. And I was born in 1970. But the biggest reason that there aren't photos of my dad when he was little, when he was growing up, is because they had a house fire. So almost all the photos that they had were destroyed. I found this photo of my dad, my favorite of my father, when I went to visit his sister. He just has one sibling, and she's still alive, and I went to visit her in Colorado, and I was looking through some of her old photos, and I found this picture, and it's a photo of my dad before he was married, and I'd never seen it before. In fact, I'd never seen a photo of my dad before he was married to my mother, except for one photo that our family has when he's about 5 or 6. That's a professional photographer, a professional official sitting. And that's the only photo. So here is this picture of my dad, early 20s. Maybe he's even still in high school. But, and I don't even own a physical copy of it. I took a picture of it. I took a picture of the photo with my phone and came home, and it is in really bad shape. The original print is really, really bad shape. And so I brought home the picture, the copy of the picture on my phone, and I downloaded it and then played with some photo editing software just to try to bring out any details. I only knew it was my dad because my aunt told me, oh, that's your dad. Otherwise, I wouldn't probably have even recognized him. Certainly not from the quality of the photo. So, this is my favorite photo of my father. It's a time when I didn't know him, that I can look at and compare to my siblings, to him later on, and it's not my favorite because it's the clearest. It's not my favorite because it's the most artistic or the most representative of how I remember my father. But it is my favorite because it's like a found treasure. Imagine if that photo didn't even exist. I would not know. I would not have a single image of my father between the time he was 5 and when he was, I think he was 34 when I was born. No images at all. So which ones out of these do I like? I love them all because he's gone. I love them. But I definitely have my favorites, and that one I talked about is my very favorite. This is probably my second favorite. Why? Because that's what he really looked like to me. That's him in my memory, not in a stiff position with family members.
I have never regretted a photo that I've taken, but there are plenty of photos that I haven't taken that I have regretted. So when in doubt, take the photo.
Take the photo.
I do appreciate y'all listening, joining us. If you would like to support us, please subscribe, ring the bell. You'll be notified when a new video comes out. I'm putting out videos every Thursday each week. Comment, share with your friends. Also, if you want to support us in a more substantial way, I do have a Patreon account linked below, as well as some merch that's available for purchase, and that would definitely help me out as far as improving the quality of this vlog and allowing me to purchase new equipment to review for you guys.
Without being nagged by the wife.
Yeah. And so, anyway, that is it for today, and I will see you all next week.